Hello, everything is settled? Okay, so I'm going to present to you one of my favorite functionalities that I added or things that I developed in general. And that's basically the inclusion of a simple card in a simulator. And to have an idea about this simulator, it's like for my favorite card game, Yu-Gi-Oh! So one nuance of this simulator is that it's automatic. You trigger effects automatically, so you have you don't activate them manually. You have the card text. It's translated to automatic actions. Okay. So how did I tackle this project? In fact, I wasn't a developer. If I wanted adding cards, it must be. It had to be simpler than this. Uh, it's just like I must understand where is the point of scalability in this game. So I found this point, and it's basically their API or their interface, and I just had to understand how to call this interface in order to add this card. So to go much deeper in my point, I had first to design the card. What does the card do? Is you have just I won't explain the game. I will explain a little point, and that is how to ritual summon. And I will try to relate it to my card in order to see how did I come up with the solution. Okay. So without further ado, you have to add the stars, the number of stars. You have to have a ritual spell, and the monsters that have their sum of stars equal this amount of stars, and you have to tribute them. So my card breaks the rules for two things. First of all, it's not a ritual spell, it's a quick play spell. Second of all, it doesn't tribute, it destroys. So one might think, hold on a minute, does that mean that I have to change the mechanic, how the mechanic is coded in the game? No. In fact, it just means that this card behaves in different way, and you have to come up with the solution from the API that you have that does this behavior. Okay? So what I did exactly is that I tried to decompose these steps, but I couldn't. This is like how the project is coded. It's really a big game. You have like 13,000 cars or things like that. That's where their documentation came into place. They gave me the steps that I need to follow. An entry in a card database, a card script, and a card image. I didn't follow this order. Card image is the simplest one, so I, I did it first. Then I put here, because we learned databases in so many years in computer science. So it's just like data entry. If you know data entry, is basically you do like drag and drop. Basically, you open the database. Basically, you do like here it is. You open the database. Here is my card. All of these are decimal values that describe different aspects. For example, 287, I tried to relate this card to an archetype that's called Nephthys, a family of cards. So in order to understand that Nephthys equals 287, I had another file in the game's folders that's called constant.lua. It's a Lua script that has, if I try to look up for Nephthys, okay, it's not there in constant.lua, it's in string.conf. Okay, sorry, it's here. Nephthys, it's here with a hexadecimal and I to convert it to decimal, then I put it here. So whenever there is a card, for example, that tries to search for Nephthys cards, it's related to this archetype. Also, you have the type. This is a quick play spell. So you have the constant folder, the constant file that I tried to show you before. Here it is. Open. So you have quick play spell. You have a hexadecimal value, and you add it to the spell value. You add the two values, then you convert them to decimal. Okay? So that's basically the type of data entry you do in this instance. Okay? So the third step and most important step is adding the card. And that's a Lua script. To have an idea about these scripts, you have a script for every possible card in this game. Okay? So what I did is that I took from the game, uh, for example, tell me ritual summon, for example. Okay? I took a spell, a quick play spell, okay? A quick play spell that ritual summons. Any ritual spell that, for example, this one. I looked for its code. It's 6990 okay? So I looked for this code in unofficial. No, it's not in unofficial. Basically, it's in official, okay? I looked for this number. Then I copied this script and I tried to do basically like a new version of my script. I gave the script to ChatGPT and I gave him my card. It's called Nephthys Chant. And it's basically a similar script. And I came up with a first version that looked like the quick play spell. Then I tested. Okay? I will show you the first replay. I have 3 replays I want to show you. Load replay. So the first one, basically, it says that the ritual spell, it activates, okay? Everything is fine. Except that the mechanic itself, it doesn't destroy. And I'll show you why I say it doesn't destroy. Because there is a certain effect that triggers when the monster is destroyed and it didn't activate. So there is a problem with this quick play spell. So I give the script to ChatGPT and I told him, hey my man, there is a problem in this script. Tell me what's the problem, what's the issue? And he told me, well, we have to redefine certain functions, okay? So I told him, okay, redefine these functions. There is no problem. So he gave me a redefinition for these functions that like do it. First of all, it had just one line, then he did like 20 lines. I give him a second replay. Okay. Okay. Then he tried to respond. Okay, okay, tac tac. The ritual summon works. Then in standby phase, there is a triggering of an effect. So it works. But that doesn't mean that I tested every possible scenario. And this where the world of rulings of Yu-Gi-Oh comes into perspective. So if we try this, this is basically a scenario. I tried to imagine this card. This card substitutes itself for the whole tribute. Like you don't need to tribute so many monsters in order to summon it. This card just like replaces itself with all the tributes, even not considering their levels, okay? So what happened here exactly is that when I tried to activate this quick play spell and tried to tribute the Raven, it didn't work. Because the Raven says that it needs to be tributed and not destroyed. So this quick play spell destroys. So I tried to fix this problem. Maybe there is an issue. So I gave it to ChatGPT. I told him there is an issue with this. He tried to redefine other files. Like he told me redefine the ritual mechanic itself. I told him no. So this is basically a ruling of the game that says no, you mustn't do that. Okay? So sometimes there are some limits that we can't like break, and this is the limit of this mechanic. Okay? The most important thing is that the core idea works, and whatever extra ruling never interfere with other mechanics, so that other cards that use the ritual mechanic, they are not spoiled because of my card. Okay, so thanks for your attention. This is like this was my dream basically. Imagine like creating my own archetype, my own Yu-Gi-Oh, imagining my own Yu-Gi-Oh universe in a game like this. And yes, thanks a lot.